Welcome back to my lecture series. This is Muthuminal, Assistant Professor from the Department of Agricultural Engineering. Today we'll see the continuity on the topic that we have seen in the previous class, greenhouse effect, that comes under the unit Earth's climate system under the subject climate change and adaptation for the students of final year 7th semester. Before going into the session, let us have a small recap what we have seen at the previous session. We have seen what is greenhouse effect and how we are gonna stay warm and what happens when the sunlight gets reflected or entered into the atmosphere, and what happens the greenhouse gases is getting reflected or emitted or radiated. When the sun's energy reaches through that space, what happens, and what is insolation, and where and when does the most instant insolation happens has been shown here clearly with the pictograph that I have shown you, and we have come to a conclusion that the Earth's radiation reaches in a direct manner annually 2.5 times more energy than that of the poles, that is either Arctic pole or Antarctic pole, where it is more concentrated here at the equator region as it travels parallel at Earth, but the sun rays travels oblique at the Arctic pole and Antarctic polar regions. This is why the insolation is more intense while compared to that of the polar region. Today, we'll see how much sun's radiation reaches Earth, because the greenhouse effect happens dependent upon the solar radiation. So, the solar radiation is nothing but the radiation that has been generated and travel through atmosphere with the help of as a sun's UV radiation. So the initial starting point of solar radiation is happened due to the sun. The Earth's surface only is capable of absorbing 51% of incoming solar radiation. That means that at the previous session I have shown you, after the solar radiation reaches the Earth's surface, it gets observed, it gets reflected, and it gets emitted, at which the observed radiation is only about 51%. 30% of the solar radiation that reaches the Earth get reflected by the Earth's surface and atmosphere, and 19% of solar radiation observed by the atmosphere. Yes, similarly, the remaining percentage of solar radiation that reaches the Earth's surface will get as emitted radiation. This what happens in everywhere. So this is the global heat budget. Why do we need to know global heat budget? Because how much energy that has been generated with the help of sun and those solar radiation that reaches the earth surface is shown here as a pictograph. Here I have shown you 51% of the solar radiation that has been reached at the earth surface has been used for evaporation, that is 23%, infrared radiation that comes up to 21%, conduction and convection that comes up to 7%. Similarly, the incoming solar radiation, at which the 19% of the absorbed solar radiation has been done by the clouds at the atmosphere, and the remaining 30% of the reflected radiation through from the clouds, atmosphere, and earth surface has been shown over here. Usually, the energy that has been transferred from the Earth's surface by radiation, conduction, convection, evaporation, and water condensation. Ultimately, the sun's heat and the earth's energy transfer is a major cause of weather. So, this is how the weather happens. Weather is nothing but the current seasons that we follow up. If there is any change in that weather, is said to be as climate change. Greenhouse effect. So whatever we have seen as of now is interrelated with greenhouse effect. Greenhouse effect is nothing but a process by which the atmospheric gases absorbs the heat energy from the sun and prevent heat from leaving our atmosphere. The greenhouse effect is a process in which these greenhouse gases absorbs the radiation, that is for example infrared rays, and re-radiates in it in all directions, and these gases helps us to trap the heat energy and keeps it close to earth. The three main greenhouse gases that are responsible for maintaining this greenhouse effect is nothing but carbon dioxide, methane, and water vapor. As I have shown you a pictograph where these carbon dioxides consumption ratio, as I have shown at the previous slide, I have shown you that 70% of the Earth's atmosphere, that is greenhouse gases, is comprised of carbon dioxide, and 19% is comprised of methane, and the remaining percentage is of fluoride and also water vapor. This is what happens at the greenhouse effect. So whenever there is a heat energy has been trapped with the help of these gases, it helps us to maintain the warmth or heat of the earth's surface at the outer layer of the atmosphere. Okay, so this is what I have prepared for today's class. If you guys have any kinds of doubt as of today, since we have seen what is greenhouse effect, what is ozone hole, what happens if the greenhouse gases reaches the ozone layer, how does the ozone layer gets reduced, and whatever happens, whether we have to have a conclusion among ourselves and have a discussion that whether these kinds of effect is very much positive or negative to our surrounding environment. These are the things which we'll see. And if you guys have any kinds of doubt, you guys can come and ping me anytime. And see you at the next class. Thank you.